Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Tiny Human Handbook. My name's Ellen. I'm a mom to a wonderful little baby boy. He is 15 months old, and today in this video we are doing something a little bit different. We are going to go down memory lane on Google. I'm pulling up my Google search history from his first 2 weeks. So right when we got home from the hospital up until he was 2 weeks old. You'll see what we searched, what was going through my mind, and I'll kind of explain stories as they come up. As a mom, I was amazed at the stuff that I was Googling. I really thought I would know some of these things. So let's see what I was curious about and what I learned along the way. So these early days were such a whirlwind, and looking back at my searches is a really good way to remember what was going on in those first precious weeks. All right, so we're starting off on the day we came home from the hospital and starting strong with how to get baby to sleep in a crib newborn. One of the funniest things that I think back on, and part of it is the minimalist in me, but I don't know, I just got this smart idea where if you got a pack and play, one that had a bassinet attachment, you could save yourself from buying all three things, the bassinet, the crib, and the pack and play. So if you just have one item, and we were in an apartment at the time, and as you go on, we'll see we also moved to a new house the first week that the baby was home from the hospital, which I don't recommend, but I think I'm gonna do a video on that later on anyway. I had this smart idea where I would save money, save space, and just go with one item, just the pack and play with the bassinet attachment. I just wanted to believe it would work. I just wanted it to work. I remember searching in Facebook groups to see is anyone doing that, and I wasn't seeing a lot of people doing it, but I was like, well, I'll do it. No problem. It'll work perfectly for us. And it just wasn't very comfortable, I think. So compared to the crib mattress he uses now he's 15 months old. So this is looking back over a year ago. The crib mattress he has now, much more comfortable than what he had in the pack and play, which was just kind of a spring-loaded mesh surface. Not very comfortable. Just like, we were having a really hard time getting him to sleep on top of being a newborn. We were trying to make the pack and play work. Not a great idea. Didn't work for him. So I searched that, and you'll see a theme throughout this where I'm looking for sleep help. I was trying to share the Huckleberry app because I was tracking his sleep and his feedings and stuff with my husband so he could put in the diaper changes. We didn't end up doing it. It is possible though. And I actually kind of regret using the Huckleberry app to do so much tracking. I felt like when he was a newborn, we were just trying to force a schedule that wasn't meant to be there, I think we would have been better off if we trusted our instincts and went with, you know, what the baby wanted to do, which, following his own lead, we tried to make a schedule work until, I don't know, 6 months old at least. I wouldn't do it again, I don't think. All right, so then we've got an Italian restaurant because we had visitors, so we got takeout. Yeah, I was searching for safe sleep. This is the one that I remember being the most confused about why I didn't know the answer. I searched, what do babies wear to sleep in 69 degrees? And it says how to dress your baby for sleeping. So it was just one of those things that I didn't think I would have a question about, and it kind of sparked the whole idea to reflect on this later on. I remember searching it like multiple times, whatever temperature it was. I was like, what does he wear? I think our options were to have a onesie under pajamas, and that seemed too hot. But then we also had a swaddle on him too. So yeah, we didn't know. And skin surface temperature of an infant. Okay, so also as we were like searching for homes and going on house tours and stuff, we had bought a kit, like an inspector kit, where it came with a surface thermostat, or a surface thermometer, so you push the button and it tells you how hot it is. So we were trying to put the little laser on him and see how hot he was when he was going to sleep. I don't know if that was reassuring or not, but kind of fun. We looked up hair calic because we were like noticing hair patterns on his head, and he actually is so weird, has a widow's peak, which obviously is genetic, but we didn't know where that came from because neither of us remembered anyone in our family history ever having one. So we were looking up like, what's going on? Okay, and then he also, being a baby boy, had like a mean grimace face to his face. And so we were joking around naming him Grimace, but of course we didn't do that. So I looked up, is anyone actually named Grimace? And at the time, the Grimace Happy Birthday Grimace Happy Meal was out. So 1 a.m. where I was just wondering how soon I could look forward to him not eating every 2 to 3 hours. We were also looking at how a dad could soothe a newborn baby, especially a breastfed baby, because at the time I was thinking, let's just do it all even, you know, I'll feed him to go to bed and then it's your turn. We decided we would take shifts once he wasn't sleeping well and up all hours throughout the night. We were like, okay, well, you sleep this amount of hours and then I'll sleep this amount of hours. And I can't say that that worked. I think looking back and what we do now that works better is that I'll handle everything kind of during the night. Oh, and I did my first time baby wearing. So I had one of the stretchy wraps and I was just checking how the wrap looked, and I'm pretty sure it was probably too loose because it was my first time trying it. Yeah, looking up more baby wearing stuff because I wanted to get it right. And I didn't wear them like a lot as a newborn. I think I just wasn't super comfortable with it, and it didn't really make a lot of sense because I was just holding him and we weren't moving a lot. We were just hanging out on the couch doing nursing and stuff like that. So we weren't doing a lot of time in the baby carrier, and I kind of wanted the baby carrier to work out for us because I liked it. I even at one point thought, and this is another minimalist thing, I was like, maybe we'll skip the infant car seat, the infant bucket car seat where you take that out and put it in a stroller, the travel system thing. I was like, we could skip that and we could just do a convertible car seat and a bunch of baby wraps or carriers. The thing with that is it just doesn't work if you want your baby to stay asleep, like going out to the store and you want to run in and run out and you don't want to wake up the baby. So there's like no way imaginable that I have figured out where I could get him from the car seat into a carrier without him waking up. And that maybe that's just him, but we switched when he was 6 or 7 months old in November, so we didn't stick with the infant seat for super long, but you probably already know about that if you've seen my video on car seats. It's a whole thing. And it was all ahead of me at this point too. I didn't even know what was coming. I looked up skin to skin for dads. That was one thing that was really fun bonding time. Oh, and this is when we were going over to our pediatrician's office because he had his newborn appointment, and that surprised me too. I was so surprised that they wanted to see us so soon. I thought it would be like a week away or something like that, but we were already scheduling his newborn appointment and we'd only been home for 1 day. So I called and they basically wanted us to come right in. Or maybe it was the next day. So I searched up the weather because we were going out, and I think it was this visit. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the first time we went, we were like trying to get, it was the first time out of the house with the baby, so trying to make sure we had everything he needed. It was so stressful trying to get us all in the car, buckled up right, over there safely. And yes, I sat in the back seat with him, of course, making sure he was fed and dressed and ready to go. Really difficult because we were like running late and then we'd never been there before, so we missed the road to turn down. But I later found out, and this is after I started like every time I would put an appointment time, I would write in 15 minutes earlier. So if we had a 2 o'clock appointment, I'd put in my phone 1:45 when I put it in my calendar. So that way I would never be late again. But then I was like, okay, well, I'll actually put it in earlier. And she's like, oh, well, it actually is already 15 minutes earlier. And so I was like, oh, I've been coming really early. So yeah, they were building in a 15-minute buffer for us anyway. So now I know. Okay, so then I searched up a series of manuals. I was like, because he was 6 pounds and he was born in 2 ounces, and then he kind of stayed around that weight for a little while, and this is only a couple days later, so he was still only 6 pounds. And so I was looking on all the manuals for stuff, and a lot of it says once the baby's 8 pounds, they can use this, like our swing or our bouncer. And so I was really nervous to put him in either of those things. So I was like, he's not technically heavy enough. So We only used the bouncer probably once, maybe twice. Yeah, so, and we didn't use the swing at all, so. And with moving, I thought, oh, well, I don't want to pack up before the baby comes because he's going to need all of his stuff. He's going to need his swing and his bouncer and stuff when he comes home from the hospital. But that was wrong too, because he was too little for any of it. So probably we could have packed up a bit. So I looked up this breast pump that I had gotten. It was like one that you can wear instead of one that has the flanges that go in a pumping bra. And I tried that one out probably for the first time because I was looking up how to use it. I was looking up a pump flange size guide just so I could make sure I was using the right sizes. That was really hard as well. So you would measure and then say, okay, well, it's probably this size, but I didn't know, like, you should, I think it's recommended that you measure like right after pumping or after feeding because they're going to change size and be a little bit bigger during that time, and you don't want to have your pump size, flange size too small because it's going to be like rubbing. I could say I probably still haven't really figured it out. Okay, and then I searched, should I change a baby diaper after every pee? I found Pampers had an article on this, and I'm sure they said yes because they would want you to use more diapers, right? So yeah, just another question that I had that I did not expect to have. All right, so now we're in the next day. Oh, and I didn't Google anything in the middle of the night. That's weird. I wonder what was going on. Did we sleep? I mean, probably not, but yeah, here we're at 2 p.m. How long to keep breast milk in the fridge? I was applying for family leave, trying to get my benefits straightened out. I looked up signs of an overstimulated baby, so, I mean, I can't say I remember much of this period of time. I don't know what was going on. I think my husband was playing guitar for him, and I was like, ooh, that could be too loud. But he totally loved it, and I was worried for nothing. Then we've got umbilical cord and smell, because, yeah. So I was looking up, maybe we just need a bassinet. Maybe something that we could pull over to the bed would be more helpful. I looked up some hunger cues. I looked at kellymom.com, just trying to get an idea, like, and then, yeah, I'm looking up best bassinet. So I'm looking at Target, and we ordered lunch. Okay, so we're looking up bassinets, and we were looking at the measurements and the sizes, and we're like, none of these are really gonna work. It's a small space. It's just gonna take up more room. It's gonna be harder for me to get in and out of bed. What is the solution here? So then we started looking co-sleepers. I don't know. They're really just bassinets, I would think. But we didn't find anything good. But at the same time, I started kind of listening to a podcast about breast sleeping and kind of sleeping curled around the baby. That, to me, I was so nervous about it at first, and because it was against everything that I heard about safe sleep before having the baby. But I listened to this podcast about it, and I'll link it down below if you want to listen as well. But it just went over all of the history. Like, how did we get here? What did people do even prehistorically? The mothers slept with the babies. I think it sold me on it. And the fact that I wasn't getting any sleep. So I started looking up our mattress to see if it was firm enough, and I looked up head sparing. I meant to type bed sharing, I'm sure. Looked up the weekly specials at Aldi, which is something I'm always excited about. Oh, baby shushing. So I played this YouTube video going shh, shh. So I guess maybe he was napping and we need a little white noise, and just wondering more about like what can we do. Oh, and I watched another video where, okay, so before having the baby as well, I was like, no pacifiers ever. That's gonna be bad down the line. So I was totally against it. But I watched a video where, you know, if your baby's not sleeping, maybe do try some of these things. So I was like, okay, we'll do the sound machine, the pacifier, the swaddle, everything. We're gonna do it all, and we're gonna get it to work. Looking at pacifiers, we had some, of course, like free ones that come in the Amazon box. We had some, but I was looking more into it. Got to do my research. I was trying to find the best one. of course, as you do. Thinking we are crying too loud all through the night. We've got to get out of this apartment. So I'm starting to look up our moving companies, how many milliliters of milk for a 1-week-old, because I was pumping some so that my husband could feed him sometimes in the night when he would wake up, and we just didn't know how much. So I guess we figured that out. I also wanted to know how many minutes of skin to skin to do. Not that there's a time limit, but. So then things are getting, I don't know, how to make baby nurse. So this is the next morning. I again didn't search anything. Oh, for 12 hours. So 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. How do you swaddle for naps? Of course, the best swaddles have zippers. They just do. I mean, using a blanket, whew, I don't think is the way to go. Too much work. Too wiggly of a baby. But I think to do it again, I might skip the swaddle altogether. But we'll see. This is when I was still trying to make it work where, all right, so at the time we had gotten one of the dream nest bassinets that have little walls and mesh around, and then you put that in between you and your partners so that the baby is guarded from, yeah, you and him. And I don't know. I think maybe we would have even been better off without that. And I've heard that too. I don't know. He was sleeping in there, swaddle on, passy in. Yeah, I think that, you know, it worked for a bit. We stopped doing that at 4 months old. So he started rolling. We said no more swaddles. And yeah, we made a lot of good changes at that time. So let's see, I was looking up a baby carrier. I was wondering, with the newborns, do their feet go in the carrier? What about out of the carrier? Just making sure I was doing it right. When can a baby smile? So much to look forward to. And then how long do babies eat every 2 hours? It's over it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I looked up another bassinet, wondering maybe if there was something safer that I wasn't doing. Newborn eye goop. Yeah, he was, in the hospital he had a clogged tear duct, so he was getting a lot of eye gunk in one of his eyes. So we were like, is this normal? And I guess it was. We would watch shows before the baby was born, and I knew what was going on in the shows, or like I could follow them. Once he was here, I like couldn't even hear the shows anymore. I don't know what happened, but I guess it did spark my interest. But I just noticed not being able to pay attention. So I wonder what's behind that, like hormonally, right? So then I'm looking up, let's see, Best Buy and Lowe's, because at this point I think we've moved into the house. Newborn shoulder hair. He had a little bit of that like lanugo on his shoulders. So cute. Yeah, so we had just moved in because I'm looking up how much to tip the movers, looking up washing machines, all kinds of good stuff. Newborn armpit gunk. Oh my gosh, this kid he had all kinds of smelly areas. White stuff under his arms. So I'm just looking like, what is that normal? I don't know. All right, so I guess once we moved, it was a lot of stuff about moving and not a lot about the baby. So let's see. Oh, postpartum aches and chills. Oh yeah, I had gotten sick. So when the movers were scheduled to come, we were packing and packing, and I'd gotten a fever. So I was like wondering about my temperature and if there was like an infection, but I don't know. I mean, it had all gone away after that day, and I kind of was feeling better other than tired the next day. So I don't know what it was, but not good timing. Yeah, I was looking up a lot about the baby's sleep, making sure it was going to be safe for him. Yeah, so I guess I'll end there. He was basically 2 weeks old when we moved in, or like a day shy of 2 weeks old. And so that's the first 2 weeks of having a newborn and what it was like from the perspective of my smartphone, I guess. You know, we looked at what I searched, everything. Hopefully that was interesting. So thanks for joining me on this trip down memory lane. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. And I'd love to hear from you, so drop a comment down below. Let me know where any of the things that I was confused about, things that you looked up as well, or did you already know these things? Or tell me about your Google search history too, as a new parent. If you're new here, welcome to the Tiny Human Handbook, where we talk about all things parenting. We share our parenting journey and help you trust your intuition. So until next time, keep reflecting, keep learning, and keep growing. and Googling. See you in the next video. Bye.